Don't look at them like you're afraid. We are not afraid. Whatever happens today, Paid, we face it together. The three of us. Always.
The market of Veldara smelled like dust and regret. It stretched across the old stone plaza in wide, uneven rows. Merchants hawking spices, traders arguing over currency exchange rates, and in the far corner, behind a low wooden barrier worn smooth by too many hands, stood three women no one wanted to buy. Cale noticed them the moment he stepped through the market gate. He wasn't looking for anyone. He had come for grain seeds and a replacement battery coil for the farm's water pump. He had a list in his jacket pocket, written in his own crooked handwriting, and two children waiting for him back home. Mira, age 7, and Davin, age 5. He had no time for distractions. But something made him stop. The three women stood behind the barrier with their arms crossed, their green skin catching the afternoon light like polished jade. They had identical red hair, long, wavy, cascading past their shoulders, and identical expressions of quiet, fierce dignity. They were Oryn, a species from the eastern colonies, and they were being sold because their planet's registry had marked them as sterile, unfit for pairing, unwanted by the colony families who usually purchased Oryn women for household bonding contracts. The sign above their heads read, "Reduced. Sterile. Final sale." Cale read the sign twice. His jaw tightened. He had seen things like this before, in the years after the collapse, when resources were scarce and people made desperate, ugly decisions. It didn't make it easier to look at. He checked his tablet. The holographic interface blinked up a translation of the market's listing. 3 Oryn females. Ages 24, 24, 24. Triplets. Colony registered sterile. No breeding value. Current bid 0. Auction closes at sundown. Triplets. He looked again. They were identical. Same bone structure, same proud tilt to the jaw, same wary amber eyes scanning the crowd for threats. The only way to tell them apart was a small silver pendant around the middle one's neck, a flower-shaped charm that caught the light when she shifted her weight. None of the market's buyers were stopping at their booth. People glanced and kept walking. A few men looked too long in the wrong way, and every time, all three women stared back so hard the men looked away first. Good, Cale thought. They've still got fire in them. He walked over. "How much?" he asked the market broker, a thin man with a clipboard and the dead eyes of someone who had stopped caring about people long ago. The broker blinked, surprised anyone had stopped. "For all three. Make an offer. Nobody wants them." "I can see that," Cale said evenly. He named a price, fair, not insulting. The broker accepted before he even finished the sentence. The middle triplet, the one with the pendant, leaned forward over the railing. Her voice was low and direct. "We are not servants. We will not cook for you, clean for you, or do anything we don't agree to. If that is what you're expecting, walk away now." Her sisters said nothing, but their eyes said everything. Cale met her gaze. "My name is Cale. I have a farm about 40 minutes east of here. I have 2 kids, 7 and 5. Their mother died 14 months ago, and I have been doing a terrible job of managing everything alone. I'm not looking for servants. I don't actually know what I'm looking for." He paused. "But I wasn't going to leave you three standing here until sundown with no one bidding." A long silence passed between them. The middle triplet searched his face for the lie. She didn't find one. "My name is Sarah," she said finally. "These are my sisters, Vin and Laura." "Nice to meet you," Cale said. "I still need to buy grain seeds before we leave." The drive back to the farm was quiet. All three women sat in the back of the transport, watching the landscape change from market plaza to open road to farmland with wide, careful eyes. They whispered to each other in Oryn, a soft, clicking language Kale didn't understand, and he didn't ask what they were saying. It wasn't his business yet. When they arrived, the farm's front door burst open before Kale even turned off the engine. Mira came running first, pigtails flying, stopping hard at the sight of 3 green-skinned women climbing out of the transport. Davin appeared in the doorway behind her, one shoe on and one shoe off, staring with enormous eyes. Beat of silence. Then Mira pointed at Sarah's pendant. "That flower is pretty," she announced. Sarah looked down at the charm, then back at the small girl in front of her. Something shifted in her expression. The iron guard she'd held all day cracked, just slightly. "My mother gave it to me," she said. "My mom is gone too," Mira said simply, the way only children can say heartbreaking things, directly without armor, without knowing they need any. Sarah crouched down to eye level. "I know," she said softly. "I'm sorry." Davin shuffled forward in his one shoe. He looked at Vin, the quietest of the 3 sisters, studied her face with the complete seriousness of a 5-year-old, and then held out his stuffed bear. "You can borrow him," he said. "He helps when things feel scary." Vin took the bear with both hands, carefully, as though it was something precious. She didn't speak, but her eyes filled, and she blinked fast and looked at the sky until she didn't anymore. The first week was cautious. The 3 sisters slept in the farm's east room, fixed the broken window latch themselves on day 2 without being asked, and spent their evenings talking quietly on the porch while the stars came out. Kale gave them space. He asked nothing of them except that they tell him if they needed anything. The second week, Laura, the 3rd sister, the observant one who had barely spoken since the market, started helping Mira with her reading lessons at the kitchen table. Not because anyone asked. Just because she sat down one afternoon, looked at the books spread across the table, and started reading aloud in a voice that was warm and unhurried. The 3rd week, Sarah asked Kale if she could plant something in the empty field behind the barn. "Plant whatever you want," he said. She planted Oryn moonflowers, a variety that only bloomed at night, casting silver light across the dark field like something out of a dream. Kale stood at his window the first night they opened and stared for a long time. Months passed the way good months do, quietly, filled with small moments that don't seem like much until you look back and realize they were everything.